It's Mrs. Garble here, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about how we can find probability, percents, and relative frequencies from our two-way tables. Probability is the likelihood of something taking place, of an event taking place. And probability can be written in three different ways. It can be written as a ratio or fraction, a decimal, or a percent. To find the probability, you're looking for the number of favorable outcomes, or the number of times an event happened, out of the number of possible outcomes, or the total number of events that took place. So if we take a look at this two-way table below, which you should recognize from our Kahoot, we've got the data of juniors and seniors and whether or not they ride the bus, including their marginal frequencies, the totals for each row and each column, along with the total number of students that were surveyed. So our first question is, what is the probability a junior does not ride the bus? So we're looking specifically at juniors not riding the bus. So because I'm looking specifically at juniors, I know I have a total of 70 juniors, and 32 of them do not ride the bus. So my probability that a junior does not ride the bus would be 32 out of 70. Now I need to simplify this. And I know because they're both even, I can divide both of those by 2, and that would be 16 over 35. And that would be my probability as a fraction, as a ratio. Now if I wanted to convert that to a decimal, I would take 16 and divide it by 35, and I would write that as 0.457. I'm rounding this, and since I'm rounding this, I'm going to go ahead and change this equal sign of mine to an approximation symbol. So if you see a wavy equal sign, that means it's approximately. So I've written this probability as a ratio and as a decimal. Our next question is asking about a percent. So I'm going to go ahead and start by writing it as a ratio, writing it as a decimal, and then writing it as a percent. So what percent of students who ride the bus, so this time we're looking for students who ride the bus, are seniors. So students who ride the bus, that's 59 students, 21 of them are seniors. So that probability is 21 out of 59. I don't believe we can simplify that. Since we're looking for a percent, it really doesn't matter. As a decimal, I'm going to take 21 and divide that by 59. And that's approximately 0.356. To change it to a percent, you can take that times 100 or move the decimal 2 places to the right. So as a percent, that is approximately 35.6%. Some may even just round that to approximately 36% of the students who ride the bus are seniors. Let's take a look at another table. Here we have a table that asks college-bound high school students whether they plan to major in a medical field. We only have the numbers of students who responded yes or no and whether they were juniors and seniors. We don't have any of the marginal frequencies. So as we go through these problems, we may need to find some marginal frequencies. What is the probability that a student plans to major in a medical field? So we need to find out, first of all, since it says that a student, we need to find how many students there are. So I'm going to find the total number of juniors that's 343. The number of seniors, that's going to be 337. And add those together. 343 plus 337 is 680 total students. So out of the 680 students, how many plan to major in a medical field? We know that 124 and 101 plan to major in a medical field. So that's a total of 225 out of the 680 plan to major in a medical field. So 225 divided by 680. They both end in 0, so I'm going to divide both of them by 5. That simplifies to 45 over 136. I believe that's probably as simple as the ratio can be. If we want to change that probability to a decimal, I am going to divide 45 by 136, and that rounds to approximately 0.331. The next question is, what percent of seniors are planning to major in a medical field? So I need to find, well, how many seniors are there? 455 when I added the actually I didn't need that number. Now that I'm looking at it, I just need the seniors planning to major in a medical field. Seniors planning to major is 101. We have 680 students, so 101 out of 680. Let's change this to a decimal. Is approximately 0.149. Multiply by 100, or move that decimal 2 places to the right, and that is approximately 14.9%. Another word or phrase you may see when you're doing problems like this is relative frequency. Think of it as another way of saying probability. Given that a student is a senior, what is the relative frequency that he or she is planning to major in a medical field? So we know how many students are seniors. That's 337. And there's 101 of them planning to major in a medical field. We can convert this to a decimal. And that is approximately 0. This rounds to, and I'm including the 2 zeros because my number is 0.2997, and the 7 would cause the 9s to round up, so 0.300. That is my relative frequency that given that a student is a senior. That's very important. Given that a student is a senior, what is the relative frequency that he or she is planning to major in a medical field? That is 101 students out of 337 is approximately 0.300. And that is how we can find probabilities or percents using our two-way tables.